Another week, another episode of JCW Lunacy, a place where the lunatics truly run the asylum. How do you guys want me to cover these in the future, weekly, or should I do them in groups of 2 or 3? Let me know in the comments. So last time out on the show, Big Vito, you know, that guy from WCW. He joined JCW as one of the investors, and he immediately started throwing his weight around by firing longtime JCW wrestler Kane because he didn't like his gimmick. This one starts out with Big Vito asking Violent J if he's trying to run a trap house by having these druggy wrestlers here. Big Vito is in full Godfather mode here, he really likes to play dress up. Remember when he wore a dress that time? Violent J says that they are aware of the problems within the company and they've talked about sending him to rehab. Vito just can't believe that a wrestling show would have a guy doing blow on a toilet. I have to kind of agree with him. Vito decided that the way to solve it is by having Steve and Flo versus Cocaine. Not sure how this solves anything, I guess Kane isn't fired after all. The arena is extremely tightly packed tonight. The ring is basically crushed up against a wall. We'll have to wait for the match. Instead, the opening match we get is the CrossFit Matt Fit, and he has a match against Ninja Mack. Oh man, what happened to those sexy clowns around ringside from last week? They've now been replaced by hillbillies. The Ninja Mack tries to whoop at the crowd and then he gets his head kicked off. He's fine and he throws the CrossFit out of the ring. He tries to do his ninja dive out of the ring, but to be honest, there isn't enough room out there to dive. Instead, the ninja walks across the meatheads of the crowd and then he hits a dive into the crowd. As these two warriors fight surrounded by the crowd, every single audience member is taller than the wrestlers, including the women and the children. They continue fighting around the crowd forever. They then return to the ring with Matt driving his knee across the ninja's back. Just the two, and he crosses his teeth with anger about that. The crowd come close to shoving their great fingers up Matt Cross's well-plucked nostrils. Cross misses the cross wheel in the corner, and the Ninja Mack hits a crazy flying spinning uppercut. Now he nails a crazy standing senton attack for a 2. The CrossFit isn't done though, and he does now hit the cross wheel and a running boot and a standing moonsault for his own 2 count. Cross says he wants to dive as he tries to work out if it's even possible with this low ceiling. He misses his dive anyway, and the Ninja Mack hits a straight up kung fu kick to the noggin. He can't hit Special Ninja Dive 7 though, and Matt crosses up again, hitting the cross eyes for the 3. Enjoyed that one, nice length and kept my attention the whole way through. What will this new investor mean for Matt Cross? Tonight, the commentary team look like twins. Twins that fell out of Jim Ross's asshole. Oh no, the sponsored adverts are back. They all seemed somehow related to JCW, perhaps they're side hustles for them. I probably shouldn't be making fun of them. I'm told to visit Only Wrestlers. I ain't typing in only anything on my phone, sorry. The Hawk doesn't need it anyway, I've got your girl and only her best friend. In the back, some graffiti says 2 smiles getting closer, end up making... What is this, some riddle shit right here? A kiss? It has to be a kiss, right? Oh, there's Jasmine Sinclair, so yeah, I think it's a kiss. She tells her monsters they now have friends in high places. She tells Congo Kong to cripple the Big Mac Willie Mac tonight to make her squeal with delight. They then stop Mr. Smiley from eating a burger. It ends. That match will be now, Congo Kong taking on the Big Mac Willie Mac. This is 2 big boys going at it early in the show. I hope this ring will be okay, and you have to question if this is wise from JCW. The crowd loudly chant for Willie Mack to fuck him up. This is the Battle of the Behemoths. Mack eventually hits a running kick which stuns Kong and drops him to the mat. Mack is doing well until Mr. Happy grabs his leg and Kong smashes him in the corner. Congo Kong slowly beats him for ages and then throws him through the air like a crisp packet from your car window. Willie Mack tries to come back but runs into a boot and Kong ass drops him for a 2. How is that not over? That is like a Fiat 500 falling on you. Kong is not finished and does a forward roll on top of him for another 2. Mack suddenly wakes up and hits a clothesline and a spinning heel kick to knock the bigger man down. Mack tries a Samoan drop, but fucking Congo Kong reverses it into a crucifix pin. I can honestly say I never thought I'd see that in wrestling. And of course, it's not the finish either. Kong almost flies out of the ring now, but the Mack just about keeps him up and hits the Samoan drop, which I am okay with. This is actually a double down. Jasmine St. Clair shakes with anger. Mack drags himself to the top rope, but Jasmine causes a distraction and Mr. Happy drags him off the top. Congo Kong hits him with a discus headbutt and the ref pops his Ritalin and counts the 3. Honestly, this wasn't the greatest matchup. Kong couldn't do any of his fun power moves because Willie Mack is too fat. I still enjoyed it, but I wasn't exactly my favourite Congo Kong match. If you're looking to complete the catalogue of his work, I give you permission to skip this one. Who will stop this team of monsters? In the staircase, Flo Kane are depressed that they have to face each other in a match tonight. Steve and Flo swears they will blow off, and they hold their hands for an uncomfortable amount of time. I don't know what they were going for here. The next match is a tag match. Oh, fuck no. Fuck no, these guys still exist. Oh, God. It was going so well. Okay, one of these oi 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 guys still exists. Molester the Legend, or whatever he was called. Fun fact, I hated their team so much that it contributed to one of the worst ever TNA episodes, which caused the Hawk to quit watching. Oh yeah, it's time for everybody's favourite tag team of JCW lunacy. It is the Zombie Twins. I hope they bite off his stupid mohawk. Well, the other guy starts this match. Randomly, one of the zombies drops to the mat, and this dude is really confused on what's going on here. This must be some sort of zombie possum. Yeah, it's a zombie possum. He grabs his boot and starts biting it. He scrambles to tag in the oi 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 guy as the zombie bends and contorts himself into 6 different positions. Himself? I mean, it's not human, so is it a he or is it a she? Can zombies have pronouns or... Now this line of thinking may seem crazy to some of you, but it's like this show can read my thoughts because I actually have my question answered later in this show. The zombies are about to come up with a double team which Molester breaks up with double clothesline. He also hits the zombies with a flatliner DDT double team. This may as well be a handicap match. The oi 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 guy's partner is pointless. Wow, he actually does manage something as he hits the zombie twins with a double bulldog. He can't follow it up as the zombies start sort of throttling him. The other zombie attacks him from behind and there it is, the neckbreaker splash. Molester breaks up the pin. The zombie is given a heart attack now, but zombies don't have a working heart, so it doesn't end the match. The crowd just aren't as into the show this week. The zombie twins hit a double big boot to the big man. They spray double bad breath into the other guy's face for the knockout. Wow, these guys are racking up the wins for JCW. I'm yet to even see who the tag team champions are. But it should probably be these guys. Like last week, for some reason the manager shows mercy on the infected man and feeds him an antidote. We are now told once again to bring our fat friends along to the next JCW event and you will get a free turkey leg. It's getting harder and harder to tell which of these sponsorships are real and fake. A life coverage sponsorship with a clown performing surgery. This must be fake, but I have no idea what this would even be for otherwise. Violent J must have been watching this show because he looks really depressed as he comes out some doors with Vito. Why are there plant awnings stuck to the door? What are they going to do, grow a herbal door? Vito says how impressed he is with the layout of the building. The layout? Sure. If you're an investor, you want to be impressed with an aspect of the show. But the fucking layout of the building. They chose this as the area to be impressed with. He soon chooses his mind and can't even be happy about that when he finds out that he doesn't have his own office. So he takes Violent J. Violent J fills his nappy of anger. Some strange jazz music plays, and this is Jeeves along with his owner Caleb Conley. They've really focused on a really small pool of guys for these shows so far. I guess it helps you learn the characters better. But were these really the best guys they had to put forward? I don't know the roster, I'm just honestly asking that question, I'm not trying to be critical. Anyway, Jeeves is taking on Mr. Mike Rogers, the man of 1,000 gimmicks. He was the pirate last week. Not gonna lie, getting some slightly creepy vibes with this one. He changes out of his Clark's canal boot shoes into wrestling boots. Jeeves gets tired of waiting and attacks him during the tying of the shoelaces, but fails and his back body drops. Jeeves continues being a dick, so Mr. Rogers throws him backwards through the air. Nice Northern Light suplex now for Mr. Rogers. This guy kind of reminds me of Joseph Park. Chris, Abyss. Big side slam for Mr. Rogers gets a 2. Jeeves comes back through biting. The corner clothesline and the flatliner both connect in the corner. It's just a 2. Apparently, Jeeves has never won a match before. He now hits Rogers with a tie takedown. Mr. Rogers starts winning, so Caleb Conley blasts him from behind with a belt shot. Jeeves is dumb though, and he's beaten by a small package. The crowd adore this man, so yet to see a gimmick fail for him. Is that the blue meanie? That's cool that he's got his own podcast or whatever it is. His face is massive though. It's so big that I bet he finds food under there from weeks earlier stuck in his chin pouches. This week's sponsored musical act is called I'm the Bad Guy by a young man called Sishran. The song itself is so bad that they only let us hear 5 seconds of it and spend the rest of the advert talking over it. And what is the award-winning line we get to hear from this great song? You're a fake, you're a fraud, you're a hoe. So it looks like you got to take me on solo. Ha! This really is the most basic of rhyming the Hawk does not approve, and it's not even funny. I don't know what he's laughing at. He is the motherfucking bad guy, and if you don't buy this single, you will die. It's streaming everywhere, including your ass. Poor Big Vito, he's trying to take a piss, but once again, he is disturbed. This is a Russo trait of having a continuous joke for his shows. This time, there's zombies in the shower. The manager tells him they aren't freaks and they identify as zombies. Wow, I never actually expected to have my question from earlier on answered. There we go, we know they identify as zombies now. Vito wants to know, do zombies eat people? A fair question. The manager refuses to say, but wants to see his guys move further up the card. Vito is annoyed that they've disturbed him and says his ass hurts. Your homie, my homie, the man called Tony, stares out of a door wishing some other company would one day sign him. He will now be defending his world title. The man known for taking his own life will be the challenger, which seems to be so strange that TNA don't own the copyright for this character. I mean, they literally based an entire video game around this character. The champion is the man who's never able to leave, no matter how hard he tries. At night he cries. The only man whose wrestling attire doubles as pyjamas. And then he hits the fields and hangs with the farmers. From any random street in any random town. He's the man with the Bacardi Breezer. The man whose dick is so large that your lady'll have a seizure. He's twice as tough as you and your dad combined. The only man who can devalue a shirt when it's signed. Too Tough Tony. He bribes you to be his homie. It's a proper sausage fest in there this week. Did you ever dream that you would see this matchup? Anyway, Tony controls the match for a while before the Life Taker does his signature pose on the ropes, which sends Tony rapidly out of the ring where he gets a dive. The Life Taker brings him back to the ring with a senton for a 2. A big sliding kick gets another 2. Now, a tarantula-like move. Tony stops his next dive with a middle rope suplex. He also hits a Tony Salt, but just a 2. Suddenly, the masked moron trips Tony up and hits a double stomp for a 2 count. He fails on a Hurricanrana as Tony buckle bombs him. Tony randomly hits a Canadian Destroyer now. It should be over, but no pin is made. Instead, Tony tips Thatcher's cider over his hands and then sets it on fire for the flaming punch to give Tony the victory. The next sponsorship is for the Best of Mack Cross DVD. All the highlights have him being awesome from like 1999. But hilariously, he hasn't done a single move close to any of this across the 3 shows that I've watched. Screaming is heard from Big Vito's office. Violent J asks to speak to him. He's depressed about how badly this takeover is going. Vito tells him that he's doing a great job and says he should go home for the night. He slams the door in the clown's face. Wow, we now spend time seeing highlights of the time that the NWO came to the JCW. This actually did happen a few times, but some of the matches have been lost unfortunately. I enjoyed seeing this flashback and the crowd was lit. That was the JCW, Blast From Your Ass. The main event this week is Cocaine. I love how his music is so close to the Big Red Machines, and he's taken on his best friend Stephen Flo. Neither guy actually wants to have this match, but they're being bullied into it by the new management team. Vito tells Stephen Flo to kick the shit out of his friend. Neither guy can land a move because they know each other so well. It's actually quite a lot of fun seeing all the reversals. Finally, Stephen Flo hits a head scissors and a splash and a springing stage dive for a 2. They both smack each other like morons, so Kane flips over the ropes and comes back to the ring to hit a slam. Back to the smack off we go. They both start no-selling each other's shit. Stephen Flo reverses a coke slam and locks on a triangle hold, but Kane isn't dumb. He reaches into his pocket for something and a weird substance flies through the air. He's back in this one as he catches a dive and nails the coke slam for the 3. They make up after the match and the crowd are very happy about this. Stephen Flo is randomly jumped on the ramp by Congo Kong and the Lobster Crew. I definitely meant Monster Crew, but they can be the Lobster Crew if they want. Fuck it. Apparently, this could be a punishment from Vito as Stephen Flo didn't beat up Kane tonight. A cannonball from Mr. Happy seems a bit of a harsh punishment. Cocaine comes back, but he's caught and double chokeslammed by the Monsters. I really thought we were about to see a turn there, but no. The Monsters sort of deliver a double splash to Stephen Flo, and they end the show with the Monsters standing tall. And fat. Well, Vinny Roo still didn't turn up. He did have a promo though on the JCW YouTube page where he ran down a chick. I'm not sure why it wasn't part of the actual show. It looks like it was cut from a show, so why wasn't it on any of these shows? Can anybody explain this to me, because Russo hasn't actually been introduced on the show yet, but then he's here having a random separate promo on YouTube? Very disappointing way to see him make his debut for JCW. His promo was funny, he basically gave someone a promo lesson. Vince Russo's name has literally not been said on the show yet here he is doing a stupid little interview. So we have to assume that everybody knows he's here, so it's pointless. But if that's the case, why wouldn't they just name drop him on the show instead of having it be all mysterious? Yeah, I'm sorry, Russo and JCW, this is dumb. I'm sticking with it, but not a fan of that character introduction after a decade away from wrestling. And if you don't agree with that, I'll knock you out like the zombie's breath thing.